Hello and welcome to another episode of Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Noah Brady, joined alongside Adam Brown and Dylan Simmons here in the heart of campus of Middle Tennessee State University. That's the Blue Raider Hall of Fame, bringing you more college football coverage as we continue the long season. We're going to kick things off with Adam Brown. Adam, take us around the CUSA.
All right, Noah, for our first game, we've got Louisiana Tech taking on the Miners, and for our second game, we've got WKU taking on UTSA in a game that has massive standing implications. So let's take a look.
This week on Around the CUSA, we're going to look at the only two conference versus conference matchups outside of MTSU's game against UAB. In our first game, Louisiana Tech opens up conference play at home against Utep as a 3-point favorite with an opportunity to inject themselves into the top of the standings early on. While the Bulldogs are a 3-point favorite, their defense has been suspect. However, that could just be a product of their tough schedule. Utep is 1-1 in conference play and will be looking to keep pace in the standings on the road. The matchup to watch in this one will be the Bulldog defense against the Utep offense, and we'll see what kind of team Tech has in conference play. Our second game will almost certainly be the highest scoring total in college football today, and a matchup between arguably the two best quarterbacks in Conference USA as WKU travels to UTSA. WKU is averaging 43 points a game, and quarterback Austin Reed has been stellar. He has 16 touchdowns on the season, and the Roadrunners will have to be ready to defend the pass. On the other side, quarterback Frank Harris, who just set a program yardage record against MTSU, is an electric playmaker with an arm to match. Flanked by running back Zachary Franklin, this offense is dangerous on every snap. This will be the first real test for WKU this season and has massive implications on conference standings.
This Hilltoppers Roadrunners matchup will no doubt be one of the highest scoring totals in the nation today.
Yeah, Adam, and I think what's going to come of that is going to be the quarterback battle between Austin Reed and Frank Harris. Elway Montana's got nothing on this one. It's going to be an awesome one. Cannot wait to see it.
That is a bold claim, but definitely a marquee matchup coming out of the Alamo Dome this week. With that in mind, though, let's take a look at the rest of the matchups coming up around the CUSA. There's more where that came from on the other side of the break. We'll be back with more on True Blue TV.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. Let's send it over to Dylan Simmons now with this week's Big Blue Review.
Yeah, guys, we've got the latest on MTSU volleyball picking up a big victory, and we're also going to see MTSU women's soccer coming back like LeBron in Cleveland. Let's take a look. MTSU women's soccer is looking as fresh as Bel Air, coming off their last matchup against Western Kentucky. The Blue Raiders hosted the Hilltoppers in the 100 Miles of Hate series at home, wearing stylish pink jerseys to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Hannah Suter was again as unbreakable as a Subaru, with another clutch performance at goal that saw her give up just one on the night to go along with 7 more saves. It was freshman Emma Peterson who went up and over like Saquon Barkley against Iowa to notch MTSU's lone goal on the night and her second on the season. The match would conclude as a draw, but would give much needed momentum to MT. They now have broken a 4-game losing streak and hope to bring that momentum into their next games against CUSA opponents. The MTSU volleyball team spiked a statement into the ground last Sunday. The Raiders took on the FIU Panthers and started scoring early and often, with a quick win in the first set. That theme would be as consistent as Tom Brady playing football, as MT was led by Kaylee Oscarson with 11 kills and 7 Randy Savage blocks. Taylor Eisert also reached a milestone of her own, as she recorded her 2,000th career assist, making her only the 9th player in Blue Raider history to reach that brass ring. MTSU would end up with a 4-1 victory and now look ahead to a climactic showdown against the UTSA Roadrunners on October 7th. Well guys, as you can see, the Blue Raiders are building momentum on both the hardwood and on the turf.
Yeah, Dylan, you love to see those teams have good weekends and build momentum as they try to keep pace in their respective sports and divisions. And shifting gears, we've got Audrey Green with the spotlight as she highlights the MT equipment staff's new potential best friend.
Technology has come a long way, from telescopes that can see faraway galaxies to GPS navigation on all kinds of devices. Middle Tennessee State University is actually testing an advancement called a turf tank. Turf Tank is a company that sells machines that paints lines on sports fields. Hayden from Turf Tank came to MTSU to demo the Turf Tank robot on the soccer field.
Turf Tank is the world's best and first autonomous robotic field painter. All you do to paint with this robot is give it a couple of points and tell it the dimensions, and it'll paint your entire field.
This robot paints with a centimeter of accuracy with every single painting. However, it was not sunshine and rainbows at first when Jason Young demoed them.
We've demoed them in the past. Technology's really come a long way over the last 5 or 6 years on what these machines can do, but they're basically taking care of your labor to paint a sports field, along with there's no need to go out and measure and string.
This machine not only saves labor cost, but it saves time.
It will paint an entire soccer field in 20 minutes or less. That's 11v11 soccer field with all your lines. I can get a full football field, numbers, end zones, lines, all the bells and whistles in 3 hours or less.
The deciding factor for MTSU to use the turf tank is if it will be cost effective or not.
Over time, this unit, it would probably pay for itself in paint costs in 3 to 4 years' time.
Will MTSU use this autonomous machine? We will find out soon enough. In Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Audrey Green, MTN News.
Don't want to give those guys too much responsibility, though, or we may have a little Terminator situation on our hands.
Absolutely, Adam. I will say, though, it's one of the most satisfying things to watch those little field artists go to work. So aesthetically pleasing.
They are true artists in every sense of the word. They're like little Bob Rosses. You know, they paint happy little fields and happy little lines. And I hope that they stay put for a good while to come. When we come back, we'll have the latest on both the Scouting Report and the Scoop with Grant Langston. All that and more when we come back on Blue Raider Extra Point.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point here on True Blue TV. Let's send it over to Grant Langston and see what he has in store for us this week on The Scoop.
Joining me tonight on The Scoop is Garrett Helmers from UAB. Okay, let's dive right in. Tell me a little bit about the UAB team under the leadership of Bryant Vincent.
Brian Vincent took over at the beginning of August after Coach Clark retired after back issues. Right now, the prevailing thought is he may be out after this season. They're 2-2 so far. The discipline of this team has not looked good. The penalties are really bad. Against Rice, turnovers killed him again. Liberty, a couple weeks ago, they had 4 fumbles that really ended up biting them. But as of right now, people are still optimistic, and they're looking forward to this homecoming game against Middle Tennessee.
I saw that it was the homecoming week. What all does that involve for the football team?
So every year they do what they call the Children's Harbor Game. They have the patients of children who are either usually terminally ill on the back of their jerseys, and they'll have those kids get to attend the game. Devondrick Bynum spoke at the press conference, and he's been here for 3 years, and he said he still speaks to the child that was on his jersey from this first year. So it's more than just like wearing the names on the back of the jersey. Some of them really get invested.
Touching back on that Rice game, I saw that UAB had the lead in the first half. What led to them falling apart in the second half?
Third quarter, quarterback Dylan Hopkins threw a bubble screen on the right, down the right sideline. It ended up being a backwards pass. Everyone thought the ball went out of bounds. Rice player just comes swooping in, picks up the ball, and the momentum was gone from that point. It was disappointing for sure.
Are there any players that stood out from either that game or earlier in the season that you think we should be watching out for in this?
Dwayne McBride for sure. Dwayne McBride leads the country in yards per game. Against Georgia Southern, he had 4 touchdowns. If Middle Tennessee is going to have success in this game, they're going to have to stop him. It's going to be a long day for the Blazers. And Middle Tennessee coming off that win at Miami a couple weeks ago, UTSA was a tough loss. They've established themselves, and people around here are worried about this game.
All right, thanks for joining me tonight on The Scoop, Garrett. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Great conversation between Grant and Garrett. Always good to see what's going on the UAB side of the fence.
And up next, we're going to go a little bit further past that fence as Ryan Martinelich takes us behind enemy lines with the scouting report.
After tough losses last weekend, both UAB and MTSU will be looking to rebound with their defenses leading the way. The Blue Raiders and the Blazers are coming into this game with 2 of the premier defenses in Conference USA. They have combined for 28 sacks and 21 turnovers, with UAB leading the conference in total defense at 313 yards per game and points allowed at 17.5 per game. MTSU leads the conference in run defense at 108 yards per game and total sacks at 19. 3 MTSU players are sack leaders in the conference, led by sophomore defensive tackle Zaylen Wood. Junior cornerback DeCorian Patterson leads both CUSA and the nation in interceptions with 4, and the Blue Raiders were able to pick off UTSA star quarterback Frank Harris not once, not twice, but 3 times. The Blazers, however, will be eager to try and pierce that Blue Raider defense with their efficient offense behind explosive junior running back Dwayne McBride, who leads the conference in rushing at 521 yards through 4 games. And if that MTSU defense proves too stifling for the UAB ground attack, quarterback Dylan Hopkins can take it to the sky. While his numbers don't pop out, his accuracy and poise in the pocket could give the Blue Raiders fits, and he can fit that ball into those tight windows. Where the Blue Raiders defense falls short is third downs, as they give up 43% of those plays. On the flip side, the Blue Raider offense will rely on their air raid offense, led by quarterback Chase Cunningham and wide receivers Jalen Lane and Isaiah Gathings, in an attempt to burn that Blazer defensive backfield, which is led by Jalen Key and Grayson Cash, and has only given up 162 passing yards per game. Cunningham has averaged 330 yards passing per game in his last 3 outings and will surely look to keep those numbers up against this Blazer defense.
Thanks, Ryan. Should be a great defensive matchup, but which team's offense is going to make the plays needed to win?
Well, Adam, and we might find that answer as we dive into our keys this week. Dylan, what does MTSU have to do to be successful against UAB on the road?
Yes, sir. Well, let's waste no time. First key, make McBride slide. UAB's offense runs straight through Dwayne McBride. He's going to be the key. MTSU's defense, we know they were the weak link. Frank Harris was skying the ball out as much as a bird heading south for the winner. But if you stop Dwayne McBride and make him slide like something at Dollywood Splash Country, you're going to stop this UAB offense. Look for that early on. For my second key, I've got refuel the tank. I don't think the tank was getting enough fuel last week, guys. Frank Peason is a critical component of this offense. If we rely too much on Chase Cunningham, it's going to make the team one-dimensional. That's how we get stopped easier. Refuel the tank and refuel him fast because he can add a lot to it. And for my third key, I've got fight fire with fire. MTSU needs to come out swinging against UAB. Guys, this is going to be their first road game since the game I don't want to discuss, but that's besides the point. It's still a critical game for MTSU. They're trying to prove they need to be in CUSA contention. This is how you do it. Get a statement win, and I want to see that.
Adam?
Yeah, guys, my first key is turnovers, and you could use that for really any game, but this one is special because UAB has lost 7 turnovers in 4 games so far, and Middle has forced 11. This seems like a great opportunity for our defense to help out our offense this weekend. And second, make them score 20. In UAB's 3 games against a team with a winning record so far this season, they average 19 points a game. So if our offense can put up 20 or more, UAB is going to be playing catch-up, and that's what you want to see. And finally, post-loss lag. Both of these teams are coming off tough losses last week, and we need to get in there, reestablish our energy, and not let that UTSA loss beat you twice.
Absolutely, Adam. I'm going to pick up right where you left off. My first key, cameras at the ready. Flashy plays from MTSU on both the offensive side and the defensive side have where they've gotten that energy to go out and finish games. Cameras at the ready because those flashy plays are going to be what does it for MTSU. Good things come in threes. Guys, when Chase Cunningham throws 300-plus yards in the past couple of games, MTSU has seen the scoreboard light up with 30 points at least on both of those games when he hits that mark. If he does that a third time this week, no way MTSU doesn't get the win on the road. And finally, get it to Gathings. Isaiah Gathings, wide receiver 1 for MTSU, making it very clear when I spoke to him earlier this week, Chase needs to come to him in those 3rd and 4th down situations because when he does, they're seeing success. And guys, that's going to be huge if they can go to their wide receiver 1 and they can depend on other targets as well. But if they can depend on him when the game is on the line, that's a huge threat that MTSU adds offensively. Those are our keys for the Blue Raiders to be successful on the road against the Blazers this week. We'll be back with more on Blue Raider Extra Point.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. It is that time. It is time for the best part of the show, guys. It is time for the picks. And joining us today, we have a 5-person panel for the first time in Blue Raider Extra Point history. We have Eloise Swarbrick and Lily Sophie Schmidt of MTSU women's tennis team. Just getting going into the fall season, guys. How's it going so far?
It's going fantastic, to be honest. I mean, we've been playing some great tournaments and had some fantastic results from our freshmen and upperclassmen, so I believe we're going really well.
Yeah, 100%, especially on doubles. We have been improving a lot, so it's a lot of fun right now on the court.
Absolutely. Well, glad to get you guys off the tennis courts and focus on some football action, which is probably a rare occurrence for you guys. But we'll start out with Dylan Simmons on WKU UTSA.
Yeah, guys, this is going to be a massive matchup in the scope of CUSA. Western didn't summit any peaks last week. They probably summed it closer to something like the peak of pains, because all they could see was flat stuff. Nothing impressive. Now, they were also one-dimensional against Troy. Flat and as one-dimensional as Paper Mario. Their over-reliance on Austin Reed has been a big issue thus far. He threw for over 400 yards, but when you have a lack of running game, you can't get much going. We saw UTSA. They proved themselves against us. Frank Harris skied the ball out to everybody. DeCorian Clark was awesome. I think the UTSA has proven they are a more reliable team, and I think they've got what it takes to get the job done. Give me the Roadrunners.
Yeah, Dylan, I think this is going to be the highest scoring matchup in college football this weekend. And I haven't been a big Hilltopper believer so far this season. You said it, one-dimensional. And in my opinion, this is their first true test this season. And I think Frank Harris is going to be too much for the Hilltoppers. And I'm taking UTSA.
Lily, what do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree on that. Like, I watched the game, and UTSA was just a really good team, so I'm going to go for UTSA on that game.
Ellie?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with UTSA as well. As we said, we watched them last week, and it was a fantastic game, and unfortunately we couldn't pull it through, so that's hence why I'm going UTSA this week.
Guys, I never like it when we're all five on the same page, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to go with UTSA in this one as well. They are 2-1 all time against WKU, and UTSA, they're going to match that Western firepower. You know, the last time that they matched up, it was 41 to 49, and these guys, met multiple times last season in the regular season and in the CUSA Championship. We're getting that rematch. It's going to be a fantastic game for sure, but I'm taking UTSA in this one. All right, Dylan, Utep, La Tech.
Yeah, Utep versus La Tech. And Utep, you beat Charlotte last week, but you made it a lot closer than it needed to be. Deion Hankins had 112 rushing yards, very impressive, and he was running as fast as Mark Sanchez ran into the butt fumble. And I gotta say, UTEP, they're not exactly a butt fumble, maybe more of a butt punt, because they've been a little bit more disappointing this year. However, I do think they're gonna be a team that can contend. As for Louisiana Tech, I don't think that they've been that bad overall, but they've been playing tough opponents. I think the ship, though, is going to become the Titanic if they don't right things in a hurry. I think that Parker McNeil's got to be more consistent. He threw 4 interceptions in the last game. Guys, that's not good. I think he's going to have to make less mistakes. Overall, though, I think Tech's got more balance. Give me the Bulldogs in an upset.
Yeah, Dylan, you mentioned it. I think their 1-3 record is just a product of their schedule. And Vegas agrees with me having them as a 3-point favorite at home. Give me the Bulldogs.
Lily?
Well, I think I have to go with UTEP on that one, just because, we know the tennis teams, so that's the reason I have to go with UTEP. They're just a really good tennis team, so I'm having hope in the football team.
Ellie?
Yep, I'm going to go UTEP as well. I can agree with Lee on that one. As we said, we know the tennis team, and so that's all we got to go off, really. So, yeah, UTEP all the way.
I love it. The panel is split 2-2, but I'm going to have to send this one in favor of the Bulldogs. La Tech comes into this one after a blowout to the hands of South Alabama, but like Dylan said, I think it all starts with Parker McNeil at that quarterback spot. He's really got to right that ship and not let it turn into the Titanic, hitting a huge iceberg that could ruin the rest of their season. I'm going with the Bulldogs. Let's shift gears. UConn on the road against FIU.
Well, guys, I dragged on FIU last week, and they ended up winning. So very nice. They might have one conference victory in the future against New Mexico State since they're coming to CUSA soon. That's good news for them. And I gotta say, both teams may be starting to make their way out of the FBS basement, despite what SEC shorts might say. They're starting to get a little bit better. UConn shocked with their close win against Fresno State as well. This is going to be a bit of a surprise game in terms of these teams and their quality. I think that somebody's going to have to bring up the toilet paper, though, and to me it's going to be FIU. They're going to end up taking the loss. I am still not forgiving them. They lost 73-0. Do not forget that. 73-0, guys. That is not going to cut it. Give me the UConn team. They're going to take it and get it done.
Adam?
Dylan, when I was going over this game, I thought about that SEC Shorts video, and I was a little hesitant to pick UConn because that was kind of the main bottom dweller in that video. But they just got their second win of the season last week, and they're going to roll that momentum right into this bad FIU team. Give me the Huskies.
Lily?
I think that FIU is going to take the win. I know the tennis team again, so that's the reason I'm thinking FIU it is.
It's this kind of knowledge that always beats the actual analysts on these kinds of
that's
shows.
the thing. You all think you guys know what's going to happen, but maybe the underdogs know right now.
The underdog, that's where it's at. I love it.
And continuing on with the underdogs, definitely going to go FIU because, we're both internationals, so we're going to support the Florida International University. So there we go.
I like that. Good
you guys
connection.
should March Madness brackets based on tennis teams and see what happens, because that's usually a good way to go about that.
The girls go with FIU. The guys sticking with UConn. They're coming off a really tough matchup in which they went 0 for 9 on 3rd and 4th down conversions. That could come up pointless in this next match, but for me, that's a note that stood out on my end, so I'm taking UConn in this one. MTSU on the road against UAB. Let's go, guys. Rapid fire.
Yes, sir. It's that time of the week once again, and I got to say, MTSU is looking for big redemption after that loss to UTSA. The defense is going to have to come out swinging with Jordan Branch and Zaylin Wood. Chase is still on the case, and I think he's going to come out big and really scorch that UAB defense. And I'm looking for Jalen Express, that's his new nickname, Jalen Express Lane, to come out with more receiving. Had 173 yards last week. UAB going through a little bit of a tough time right now with an interim head coach, Brian Vincent. I think MTSU's got all the credentials, and sometimes, you're a little bit lost. and you need a new way to find yourself, right, guys? So here's what MTSU needs. They need a map. This is the map to the CUSA Championship, and they will rematch UTSA. I'm calling it right now. Give me MTSU 38-21.
I actually did check his pockets this week, and he had it in the folder. So now I have to check his folder. Guys,
you never know what you're getting with Dylan over there.
Vegas has UAB as a 9.5-point favorite this week, a 2-score favorite against our Raiders. With the way that offense has been playing, I don't see it. I called both UAB upsets so far this week, and I'm doing it again. Give me the Raiders.
Lily?
Yeah, I have to agree on that. Blue Raiders it is. Just because I think I see the guys working in the weight room every day. They're putting so much effort in, and I think it's going to be worth it.
Ellie, there's definitely a right decision here. So.
I think I cannot go with the option other than MTSU Raiders. As Lily said, we see the guys in the weight room all the time, putting in the hard work, and then watching them last week with the offense and defensive teams. I think we've got a very strong chance of winning.
I think that hard work is going to translate from the weight room and onto the field this week, and it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the line of scrimmage. It's a clean 5-person sweep here. Give us the Blue Raiders, Middle Tennessee by 30 in UAB.
Be sure to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter for all your Blue Raider coverage and more.
Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have, but thank you so much for joining us here on Blue Raider Extra Point. But before we let you go, just got a couple questions for you guys. Talk a little bit about how much you guys feed off the crowd, especially during your home matches at ATC, during those big rivalry games. And then how excited are you guys about getting a new tennis facility right here in the backyard of our set on campus?
I mean, it's going to be absolutely amazing having the new tennis facilities and gathering the crowd more. And if we could have the band, little shout out to the band, that would be amazing to get the hype up and the excitement around the tennis team.
The band at a tennis match.
Yes, 100%.
I love that.
That would be awesome.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, like this hyping up energy is actually really awesome, especially in those rivalry matches. I remember last year when we had Ball State, we had a 4-3 win at home, and the crowd actually helped a lot to get that win. So yeah, it's a big factor, yeah.
Well, hopefully the crowd shows up for you guys all season long, and you guys are successful all season long as well. Good luck to you guys throughout the rest of your season. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have, but thank you so much for joining us here on Blue Raider Extra Point.
And remember, if you missed this or any other episode, you can check it out on MiddleTennesseeNews.net and hit the sports tab.
Be sure to follow us at MTN Sports on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
So a roadmap out of your pocket?
A roadmap. It's got directions to San Antonio, Texas, which is where we're going to be headed, and I want all of you to come with me. Did you go to the Conference USA Championship?
We're going.
It's gonna happen.
Did you draw that?
I did. Look, it's got all the games.
You drew that.
10 and 2, 7
I thought that
and
was
1.
printed off of Google.
He put details
Well, I
on
didn't
it.
draw the states, but I drew the edits onto the states.
That's fantastic.
Wait, is that,
I seriously thought you printed that off.
Do you have like the actual locations of the stadium too? Did you go that in depth?
No, I didn't go that in depth. But I went fairly.
I only expect the best from you.
I mean, sometimes things are beyond my capabilities.
I mean, he's
I'm
telling
not
the
an
future. There's not much more he can do for us.
I'm not Bob Ross.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.